We just mentioned how student debt functions as a way to discipline a working population and coerce students coming out of college to go into professions that might be provide them with a higher earning potential, as opposed to, I don't know, becoming a teacher or a social worker, or just something that provides them with more freedom. It keeps them indebted to a system that is exploiting them. And Sean Hannity essentially said this out loud on his radio program. He spoke out against Biden's debt forgiveness plan, and he talked about how now some of his staff might get relief. And he didn't say this as a good thing. He said it as a bad thing. I hope that whoever fetched Hannity's coffee in the Fox News offices today added something a little bit of extra, like maybe just a little bit of spit. He might watch out. He should get his coffee himself from now on. Here's Sean Hannity on this program talking about his own employees getting debt relief.
So in other words, what, a bailout plan for rich people to send their kids to school? And what's so bad about working your way through school? Because I did it. And I decided once I got behind a radio microphone, I didn't want to finish my last year or year plus, whatever it was. And I followed my passion, followed my dreams. I never had any hope I'd ever be successful. But when you really think about it, you know, who is going to benefit the most from this? Wall Street Journal editorial board said student loan forgiveness is an inflation expansion act. College costs have soared multiple times the rate of inflation over the last 50 years. And the people that likely will benefit the most are middle class. You know, think about it. You get out of college, you're not making a lot of money. We have a lot of young people that work on my TV show. They're not making 125 grand. They're now eligible to get, in some cases, up to 20,000, in other cases, 10,000. And this is new Green Deal radical socialism. This is the push for, we're going to incentivize. They're actually telling poor people that they should go into debt so they can get their solar panels. How stupid is that? It's insane. Anyway, this is very perverse incentives, and this is a reckless economic decision on every single level. And the student debt loan forgiveness, I am telling you, colleges are loaded. They are rich. They are making phenomenal amounts of money. Their endowments are massive. They're just huge. Anyway.
Anyway, I made a series of completely incongruent points, but no, the Biden administration is not compelling poor people to buy solar panels. The Inflation Reduction Act has tax credits if you choose to put solar panels on your home or use a pump that would have less energy, be less energy intensive. It's a incentive. It's a choice. They're not compelling poor people, as opposed to this, which is blanket relief for, there are poor people who took out loans, actually mostly poor and middle class people who took out loans to go to college.
Only rich people don't take out loans. Exactly.
Yes. Rich kids don't take out loans. That's the whole point. It's really common sense to think about it that way. But I was just amazed by how he brought his own employees into it there, which
they should unionize.
They should, after they spit in his coffee. But I mean, can you imagine hearing that? Hearing your boss on his radio program essentially say it's a bad thing that my employees have less financial pressure on them right now? That's how much of a psycho this dude is.
I can imagine Sam saying it, but I think it maybe be a joke.
Yeah, right. It just, what he says there though is more of is the mentality of these bosses, and it's indicative of it more than I think people want to think, and more than most people would say out loud, but Sean Hannity did, which is that my employees now might benefit from this, and they will be less compelled to stay under my control. I'll have less coercive power, and I will be able to discipline them less. And they won't be able to stand up stand up to me. They will have more freedom. Like, he essentially says, look, I worked my way up. I have no idea what his situation is with his student debt. I wouldn't be shocked if he came from a wealthier family and he got, benefits there, but I have no idea, right? But there is this belief that debt is something that you have to go through because it makes you a righteous employee by my standards, and then you do it to the generation behind you. That's how it works.
Yeah, when in fact debt is just a controlling mechanism, so rich people get interest instead of just tax to pay for public goods. I mean, it's funny, the solar panel example, because it's true that I could see the Democrats having a system where rich people are trying to finance their own green energy, because the other side completely denies green energy is a need. And so you have just corporate Democrats as the ones in charge of doing it. But what we should be doing for poor people, to be clear, is grants. They shouldn't have to pay back this stuff. The government should just be providing it. And there shouldn't be no banker collecting interest on whether it's education or our need to green our energy.